Hey guys, welcome back to Almost Unreal. So what have we got? Unfortunately, I did not get the opportunity to get the alpha. It's already run its course, and I've done a lot of digging, watching a lot of other, streamers, YouTubers, stuff like that, seeing their insight, seeing what I don't like about it, watching, just gameplay and everything like that. Unfortunately, this is not as high quality as I wish I could have had. But this is gameplay by Power Damage. I'm going to have their link in the description. It's basically something that myself, I wish had a better perspective by being inside and playing the game and getting the feel and that kind of thing. Unfortunately, didn't get that opportunity. Hopefully, and as you can see with the gameplay here, but I'm going to jump a couple of things in. Where do we go? So we've got right here, Diablo Resurrected, but we have a new opt-in. And it's not the technical alpha, it's the beta for multiplayer. So hopefully, if you guys are still looking to get into it, get into the gameplay, hopefully maybe get into actually doing any testing or anything like that, that would be huge. And basically it says a beta opt-in for that. I wonder if I can go back, if it'll say anything different. No, it won't. But yeah, there's basically a beta opt-in down here that gives you that opportunity to maybe get into the multiplayer. I know from speculation from other people that have said there's no official word yet, but if you have already gotten an alpha key, you most likely are going to get into the beta. That would only make sense. That's what they did, especially with World of Warcraft. I was in the alpha and went through all the way until live, and they basically, I didn't have to re-up or do anything like that. So most likely, and that's just from my experience, but most likely that's what's going to happen, especially from reading around on Reddit and stuff like that. But it could not be true, so we don't know yet. If you do have the option, definitely sign in here. And be sure, guys, click the gem. Come on, it's only safe. Uh, no, okay, so back into this. I'm not digging. I'll show you the gameplay here. I'm not digging some of the skill shrine. Right, this one right here. I'm not a fan. It looks too comical. Some of the shrines are a little bit comical. And the only reason I'm jumping on that topic immediately is because it popped up here in the video. But some of the overall looks a little like it had such a serious atmosphere, especially the character look. The mobs look amazing. The environment looks amazing. The spell casting looks amazing. So there's little nitpicky things that are out there. And Mr. Llama MC, or LC or SC, wow, MC. I'm thinking that because he's now doing music on. You got to check him out if you haven't seen him. He's a gem, especially for the Diablo 2 community. I might have been playing it a lot longer before him, but he is the master of Diablo 2, and I'm just getting back into it, so I'm refreshing all my stuff. But I mean, as you can see here, the demons look amazing. The imps look amazing. I definitely could say overall, the game definitely meets with the criteria of what I remember when I was a teenager. I think it looks great, but there are some gripes, and shrines would be one, auras would be another. There's a couple of auras that just are really odd. They're a little bit kind of like I just don't get it. Some of the items, especially like the potions and stuff like that, could use a less cartoony-ish nature because they've gone with such a dark. They've made it darker even than what I remember, especially looking at the atmosphere of going into the dungeons and stuff like that. It looks way darker and looks amazing, I must admit. So there's just little things like that, the auras, the items, and so on and so forth. And I would say that's awesome that it's just little nitpicky things that could be corrected, fixed, or anything of that nature. If Vicarious Visions really wants to do it, and we have to give a lot of thanks to them. They've done a lot of really good remasters, and unfortunately, I don't know if they're going to be doing remasters because there has been some talk into the fact that they might be doing some Diablo 4 stuff. That could be potentially amazing, but also the reason it's kind of unfortunate is, like, could they fix Warcraft 3? Could they, do other remasters that are kind of in, and most likely it's not going to just be Blizzard. It'd be like Activision's kind of remaster division, whatever that they're really under, to be honest with you. But other than that, I think, like, even the armor here, I think all of it looks good. I don't see really any other problems, especially with the armor. Some people don't like the cap and stuff like that. That's also another thing. If you have not seen, Mr. Llama also did a video, basically like a community survey after going through the alpha and seeing exactly what people's thoughts are, especially watching his stream, what things look like, what's like a positive or a negative or different from his opinion. And I'll definitely leave that link in the description, because he did a great job. And it's something that's very telling of just saying, hey, this is something that he's really into, and he definitely wants to see what the community is. And I would say a lot of the community that watches him, they remember the old, Diablo 2. They remember how it feels. You're definitely going to get new people. He's definitely getting a lot of new people. But I would say that, especially him starting out, he got probably a lot of Diablo 2 fans that have been around for a very long time. I mean, it is a very old game. It's a 20-plus years old game. One of the other things that I'm going to throw in here is, and I want you guys to definitely, if you're into Diablo 2 or anything Diablo really, definitely check out Pure Diablo. They did basically a little questionnaire with Brevik, and they kind of just went through a couple of questions, not anything deep or major, but I'll just read it out to you. So David didn't actually have an alpha key to test with which is a shame, but when asked if he's pleased to how the community has responded to the remaster and whether he feels validated that they are remastering a 20-year-old game, he said, I don't know if I feel validated over anything. I do feel proud of Blizzard's North team. The fact that Blizzard is updating Diablo 2 is not making gameplay changes is quite an honor for a 20-plus-year-old game. It's amazing how, and that's really big, because they're not really changing anything. They are adding, like, the gold stuff, and as I've also, thrown in there that people have asked for some more quality of life stuff, but hopefully they don't. I've even said I hope they don't change too much. I think the modding community can definitely stick to that. But anyways, let me finish here. It is amazing how warm a reception from the community has been. David also thinks that the new content, and that's, I'm sorry to stop right there, but that's sad that they did not give one of the founding fathers of Diablo and Diablo 2 a freaking alpha key. And the guy does stream, like, for crying out loud. That's a major oversight for somebody that has literally built this game, built the, and he's the loudest, that's why he's there. So he's also, in the know, that you should give him a key, at least to kind of just check this out, for crying out loud. If he didn't opt in, awesome, okay, who knows, but they should have just extended and say, hey, this is from us, thank you for making this game, but, we want to see what you think of this graphical update. All entailed, that's really what it is. David also, going back to the question, David also thinks that the new content is unlikely apart from maybe some new rune words or new character classes. His involvement won't even happen either way, he says. There's almost no chance I will work with Blizzard again. It pains me to say. I think for new content, they are focused on D4, so new D2R content seems unlikely unless it was something small like a new character class or a new rune word or something of that nature. I think even a question, and this is kind of jumbled, so I think even a new character class would be enough to get the community spur excited and honest. It would be a lot of work. Finally, on the subject of separate space from charms in the inventory, which has been one of the requests from players, he clarifies why they take up large chunks of space in your inventory and why they never added extra slot spaces? Well, a few things. Number one, we didn't think of it, which probably that's the most honest answer. They didn't think of it. The whole idea behind the design was space versus power, and there's your answer. Yes, there can be, but space versus power. It's just making the game harder. I definitely think the game should remain as hard as it is, and that's something, I guess, the wear and tear of, okay, I have to open my inventory, I have to put in, into my cube an item that I'm magic finding, so on and so on. I can't carry everything that I want. I can't just automatically pick up every single item that I want. I can't be a hoarder. To that nature is, hey, I've got full charms, makes me amazing, Amazon, sorceress, whatever, but I can't just magic find. And I don't know what to say to that. I can see that both are very valid points. I still think that when it comes down to it, that really just let the mods do it. Just let the modification team that's already out there, the spirited people that want to do that, basically be able to do it themselves. Blizzard and Vicarious Visions just do the graphical update, really stay true to that, and that's really where they can go with that. So other than that, that's really the only questionnaires on there, and I'll leave a link in the description to Pure Diablo also, so that's 3 links. Definitely check down in the description, guys. But going into basically all of the things that I've noticed in here, and this is just pretty much going to be in closing. Definitely, I am 100% okay with the graphics. I think it looks great. There are little things that can be fixed, cleaned up. Other than that, I'm not too overtly... This game could come out right now and I'd be okay with some of the little glitches. Noticing some of the little glitches would be like potions, they're misaligned, especially in inventory, and that's just because of the different resolutions and stuff like that. I know that was probably one of their biggest things that they had to deal with. Item drops, they look really good. The UI looks amazing to me. I do agree there has been some people indicating that if you could use like a slider where you could make the, as you can see here, you can see like the health and mana, if you could get them to the closer to the screen or bring them in, and just have a slider in the options or something of that nature. Other than that, the map looks really good. I think it's very distinct. It's very forward, especially. It looks a lot cleaner. It gives you a little bit more visual aid. I would say that overall, I'm okay with the quest tags. As you can see, that's awesome. That just popped up. The character screen, there are some things that, for pop-out reasons, they don't look as eye-popping. It looks really clean. But at the end of the day, it's like one of those things where, I want to know what my stats are. I want something that pops into my eye when I look at it. A lot of people don't just immediately spend points. They don't immediately spend your skill points, especially for characters like you hit 30 and then you start saving different skill points and moving them into different directions. So that's something that is always going to be lit up. As you can see, like in the bottom screen, that is your combo of both having stats and points, and you don't know which one's which sometimes. I don't think that's too major, but there could be a caveat where they could slice that in half, and the top half have stats, and the bottom half of that can just be skills. And as you hover over it, it tells you which one's which, but, I mean, that might just be another eye thing where it's like, okay, you don't have both of these skill options, one on the left, one on the right, like it used to be, especially in the original. Pardon me. But if you slice it right in half, or like at a diagonal slice, just like you're cutting your little sandwich in half, that could give a different little pick for them to do, where they don't have to really change any of the UI. I know this is the reason, and this is kind of funny, the reason that they have console is this UI really does kind of help with both. And if you have seen a controller based UI setup, it's exactly like this, but it looks very, very like the PC side is kind of manipulated by the controller side. So you could make an argument there that, they should be different, but if that's really the only thing that you're really complaining about, I could say that's, there's workarounds, there's other options that they could do to get those stat and skill points fixed on the bottom. Overall skill selections looks awesome. You still have exactly the same setup. I don't think there's any tooltips that you really need or different key bindings or anything like that that needs to be added from the last community survey that was on Reddit. Looking here, it looks very clean, looks optimal in my opinion. But that's just something that they could definitely do with that. I can't wait to see what the beta is going to say, especially when you're online, and how that's going to play out, especially with being in a channel and stuff like that. Are they going to stick to the same where you're standing in a field with your other characters? How are they going to do that? I mean, they have some creative options there that they could do some really cool stuff with. I would love to see if maybe like you were in a party of 8 or you were in a channel of 8 and they're all playing Diablo 2 Resurrected, that you see basically them like in the camp just like you were in the starting screen, where you select a character. Maybe you have them walking around in that little camp autonomously. You're not touching anything, but it's just kind of like a nice little see there as you're playing, especially in multiplayer. I wonder how it's going to play out. Of course, I don't think any of us have actually even seen any of that, so it's really amazing. Right there, Town Portal looking really pretty. I must say another thing that jumped pretty heavily, and I'd say that's probably the only thing that I would have is a major gripe, is the loading screen when you are going from waypoints, when you're going from major denizens that you're fighting. If they have a loading screen, you can die if there's mobs that are near. If you have like Duriel, I believe it happened to Mr. Llama where he teleported down and it loaded, but the way the game is that once you get down there, they didn't have loading screens, especially in the original. So it's like, wait a second, here you go, you've got he's already hitting you, and I think by the time that hit loaded on his screen, he's already at like half health. So that's definitely, they have stated that they are working on, but overall that probably is the only thing that really needs to be fixed before the game does come out. Overall items like gems and stuff, minor gripes on those. And really, of course, the only thing that you can really gripe about is just like the overall look of certain items. But you look here, this is how freaking gorgeous this is. It's dark, it's bloody, it's evil. Like this really looks good. This could take, and I'm not joking, this could take over for me over Diablo 1 in the creep factor of that, because it looks great. It really does. So it's definitely going to be something to get in there and play. Watching it looks really amazing. I love the reflective off the water. I love the reflective off of oh gosh, I'm totally spacing it, but a lot of their like tile work that has reflections and stuff like that, and marble, all reflect the character and stuff going on around it. Definitely, it looks amazing. So in the end, from my review, that's the little things that I have noticed, especially with the overall gameplay, the overall little glitches and bugs and stuff like that. There was a duping bug, especially with a shared stash. Hopefully they get that also fixed. I knew that was going to be a problem because they had that same problem in the modding community, where they were looking to see how could we do, all these stashes without having somebody save out and just duplicate the item. And I think that's exactly what happened. I didn't really delve into it. Saw pretty much the title of it and a little description of why it was duping, and that was something that I knew probably could happen, and then it was confirmed. So hopefully they fix that. Other than that, I think Game looks amazing. Overall, little bit of bug glitches and stuff like that. The one major one loading, and in the end, maybe some different looks and stuff like that. If you want to have even more in-depth little, sort through of some of the community gripes and outcries and suggestions, I'm definitely check out Mr. Llama's questionnaire link that I have in the description. And hopefully we get into the beta, because I definitely want to play this game and kind of get a feel for it and see if they've fixed anything here. And it's something for me that I really would love to get into, because I'm chomping at the bit, and I want to be able to give you an even more informed description of my thoughts. But just watching it, this is what I feel. And hopefully you guys are totally stoked just with the basic things that you've seen here. And it's not really basic. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. But if it's the little things, like I've stated over and over again, I think that this game is going to be really good come the December area. And that's also another thing. I really do feel like it's going to be December before anything really is going to peek its head of this actually being live. It could be this year. I'm not going to say that they need to stick to that. If they have to do a little bit of fixing and stuff like that, if it has to be the beginning of 2022, as a pre-purchase, I can't believe I even did that, but as a pre-purchase, I would say, hey, you know what, I can wait as long as this is more polished, because I want that Blizzard, like, hey, it's polished, boom, I just jump into the game and it's ready to go. Anyways, this has been Unreal. I hope you guys enjoyed this little snippet of 22 minutes of me talking about this game, and hopefully we get into that beta and I can give you even more opinion. Anyways, I'll catch you later. I hope you had fun. Later, guys.